Here's what you'll need for your strawberry cake. 3 cups of sifted flour, that's all purpose, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 pound of butter, unsalted, softened, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 6 whole eggs, 1 1/4 cups of strawberry milk, teaspoon of raspberry or strawberry extract, and 1 1/2 or somewhere around that amount of organic strawberries, freeze-dried. And they don't have to be organic, but I just happen to find these delicious organic ones. And it's about 1 1/2 cups, and I'm going to crush those. I'm going to be making 6-inch hearts, so I've got 2 little 6-inch pans, which I've floured. First I put the shortening on, then I floured, then I put the wax paper down. And I do have a video on that on YouTube, which I can put the link in. And I have a dozen cupcakes. So I'm just going to make some basic cupcakes, and this cake here is going to be decorated for Valentine's Day. So you want to start with your butter. And your sugar. And your flat beater. Start with it on slow. And then once the butter starts to mix in a little bit with the sugar, you can up the speed. Then you want to incorporate your dry ingredients. So I'm putting the salt and the baking powder in with the flour. Just give that a stir. Set that aside. And then you can crack your eggs. And then you want to add your eggs. So add each egg and then just let it mix a little bit. Next thing you want to do is crunch up your strawberries. I find, for me, the easiest way to do it is with my hands. And you want to have it a little chunky. So you want to have little pieces. That kind of adds to the texture a little bit of the cake. Or adds a nice, interesting crunch. And just give it one last scrape. I like to use the actual paddle. And then you want to add your flour and your liquid ingredients. I like to do a third, put it on low, put about a third of that in there. And then add the milk, a third of the milk. Increase the speed. Give it a little scrape. And just continue that. So at this point you can add a little bit of color to it. And then add your dried strawberries. Just want to make sure that color gets mixed in. Then you want to fill your pans. So about 1.5 cups. Just a tiny bit more. And these are going to go in the oven at 320 on convection. So if you're using the convection, it's 320 or 325 in that neighborhood. And then if you're using a regular oven, 350 or below. Sometimes 350 for me is too high. So even if it's not convection, I bake my cakes at 325. And then about 1/2 scoop is good for the cupcakes. That would be about 1/4 cup. I got 1.5 dozen cupcakes and 2 little 6-inch cakes. I made a batch of buttercream, and if you need to see my buttercream recipe, I have that on YouTube and at my website, so I will put a link to that for you. And I have some lemon curd, which I made a couple of days ago, and I also have that recipe online, and I'm going to add that to my buttercream. I want to make this really lemony, so I'm just going to add the entire thing. The reason I add it to the buttercream and not put it directly into the cake is because it's pretty slippery and it tends to want to leak out. So that's going to be the filling. So I've got my 2 layers and I'm cutting them in half because I would like to make a 4-layered cake. I'm going to go with a very elegant, simple design.